one of the things that a person doesn't have to deal with this problem, but still could apply this particular thing for any problem, is that you build yourself, and all of a sudden, you did something awful. And you feel like you can't get yourself back up. So as we know, Hashem runs the world with certain principles that He gave for Himself, certain rules that He gave for Himself. One of them is measure for measure. And He rewards measure for measure, He punishes measure for measure. If you steal from somebody, someone will steal from you at some other point down the road. Not because that's the only way that Hashem can take away the money from you, but also because there's a certain pain that a person feels when someone betrays them, when someone violates their privacy and takes their stuff. And anything that happens in the world, we have a principle in the Torah: no one gets punished, no one gets hurt, even in their finger. Even in their finger, without there being a sin attached to it. Whether it's in this life or the previous life is irrelevant. Bottom line is, no one in the world gets hurt even in their finger without there being a beit din of Shamayim saying, this person deserves it. This neshama deserves it. Say, why? This big rabbi deserves it? Yes. Not because I said so. Gemara said so. Maybe not during his life. Maybe this carnation he was a complete tzaddik gamur. But apparently there was still an unpaid bill from a previous life. Oh, this baby deserves it. What did he do? There's no such thing as baby in Judaism. There's neshamot. The neshamot were all here in Mount Sinai. Meaning everybody here is at least 3,000 years old. That's a reality. Few brand new neshamot exist in the world, and they're very, very rare according to the Arizal. So, but the point being is that no one gets hurt for any reason other than a sin that's attached to it, whether it's in this life or previous life. Nonetheless, everybody gets, in essence, what Hashem has connected to their name for one reason or another. So sometimes a person is building themselves, is fixing the past, and he's doing good. But all of a sudden, what are you going to do? He fell. He saw something, his mind went to left field. He saw something on a billboard. On a billboard, he didn't even go. He just saw something on a billboard, next thing you know, he's in the billboard. He's in cloud 9. Genom, Kafakela, all the departments, doesn't care about them anymore. He knows about all of them. It's not he doesn't believe in God. He believes in God 100%, he'd give you a shiur about God. Give you a shiur, give you this, give you a seat, everything. But that moment, he saw that thing, that's it. His mind is in Kafakela. She loves Hashem, loves her husband, loves her kids, everything she loves. But I don't know what happened. She went to the store, she saw somebody from a previous life. The next thing you know, she finds herself in some place that she shouldn't be as a married woman. Hashem yishmor v'yatzil, and a mevin yavin. Oh, you're a married woman, 4 kids. What are you doing? And what is this? You have kisui rosh. I don't know, Rabbi. I don't know how it happened. I don't know. But what do I do now? I can't. It's done. What do I do now? A person can fall for a big trap without realizing it until they've already done. What do you do then? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu runs the world with measure for measure, and He's the ultimate mercy. He wants our TeShuva. If you're still alive, He wants your TeShuva. But in order for you to leap from the hole that you're in, it can't be a standard leap like in the past. It needs to be more than norm, more than usual. In the past, you were able to, let's say, study an hour a day. Now, an hour a day is not enough. Why? You want to get back to where you were, right? An hour a day is not going to get you back to where you were. It's not. Why? Because you're in a deficit now. You're in negative. You're in a negative balance. An hour is not going to get you there. You have to do pretty much as possible until you collapse. 2, 3, 4 hours. Yeah, it's too much, Rabbi. Okay, stay in the hole then. What do you want to tell you? As much as you can. You can't do 4 hours? Okay, HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows what you can do. You know, maybe, more or less, that you can do an hour because you've done it. You don't know how much more you can do because you never really tried. Try more. You give Maaser once a year out of one of your checks. So in reality, it's Maaser only 1 month a year, not 12 months. It's hard for you to give 12 months a year. It's hard for you to give every week Maaser. Why? Because you like money and you don't have enough emunah and you think that if you're going to give, you're not going to have anything left, and so on and so on. The same story that everybody else has. And they already have, and somebody else is going to give, and all that stuff. Hard for you to give. Hard for you to give. You give once a year, you give during Rosh Hashanah, you give Yom Kippur, you never really do the calculation, but you more or less believe that you give enough, but in reality, if anybody did your spiritual accounting, they would see that you were in a deficit, but that's only between you and Hashem. Now, you want to get out of the hole. You want to get out of the hole. You have to give a lot more. Not a little more, not 20% more, a lot more than what you give normally. Why? You're in a deficit. If you've already gotten yourself acclimated to giving $1,000, $1,000 will not do. How much will do? Only HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows, but it has to hurt. Meaning that sometimes even if you give 2,000, it's not going to be enough. Like, it depends. It depends on the Avera, it depends on the sin, it depends on what your capability is, it depends on what HaKadosh Baruch Hu is in essence asking for you. There's no specific number. All I can tell you is it has to be a lot more. A lot more. HaKadosh Baruch Hu sometimes wants a lot more from us to get us to where we need to be. You did TeShuva. You started wearing modest clothes. You married a nice Ashkenazi boy from yeshiva. Baruch Hashem, everything's good. You kept all of his minagim. Everything's good. Baruch Hashem. You're modest. Baruch Hashem. You're eating kosher. Baruch Hashem. Your kids are in yeshiva. Baruch Hashem. So what else can you do? Bat Yisrael. You made a big avirah. You made a big sin. What else can you do? You ate non-kosher, one of your girlfriends. You cursed. You did this. You did all types of things, horrible things. And you want to get back to the spiritual high you were feeling before. You have to do something big. For a woman, modesty is usually the one main thing that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants. Even though you're an Ashkenazi minag and your husband is Ashkenazi, start wearing a mitpachat. Just like many tzadikot in the Ashkenazi world have done throughout the years and still do to this day. Not everybody wears a wig. Yeah, but everybody's gonna, okay, so stay in the hole then. Yeah, but everybody's, okay, well, all the things that you're saying, you're right. You have this excuse and that excuse because the standard is for you to wear a wig. And forget about the whole argument of India and idol worship and all that stuff. Put that aside for a second. Everyone knows that a mitpachat is more modest than a wig. Everybody knows that. Nobody in their right mind actually believes, like with their real, genuine heart, that a wig is more modest than a mitpachat. Nobody believes that. Now, of course, some Rishaim will say, false words in the name of the Lubavitcher Rebbe. No, the Lubavitcher Rebbe was against mitpachat. Complete nonsense. I have letters from the Lubavitcher Rebbe that says that he's for mitpachat. That's a different story. The point being is, everyone knows. Anyone that has eyes. You have eyes, that's all you require. You don't have to be Jewish even. You have eyes, you know a woman with a mitpachat is more modest than a woman with a wig. Why? Number one, with the wig, many times you don't even know it's a wig. Number two, hair. No hair. Do I need to explain further? Everybody knows. Now, you say, yeah, but I'm Ashkenazi. Our minhag, our custom, according to our Gdolim, that were right for their time, and didn't know about the idolatry of the world of today and so on, we're allowed to wear a wig. You're right. Although those Gdolim did not approve the wig of today, needless to say, you're piggybacking off of them and the other rabbis of today. They say, okay, fine, no problem. But you're in a hole now, and you want to get out of that hole. You have to do more. Yeah, but what about my mom's going to bother me that every time she sees me with mitpachat? What about my girlfriends that every time they see me they're going to tell me, why you look like an old lady? What about my neighbor that says this? All of them you have to ignore. From now on, and simply make a commitment to Hashem, from now on, I have a mitpachat. For how long? Permanently. Now, if you do it like a joke, you do, no, I'm going to do it from now on, I'm going to do it in the house. In the house, when no one sees me, I'm going to put a mitpach on. But anytime I go out to a wedding or bar mitzvah or something, that's a joke. It's a complete joke. Now, it's better than nothing, but it's still a joke. Why? It's not going to elevate you. You have to make a commitment in front of people. Where do we know this from? During the time that we were in Egypt, as slaves, no one came to save Am Yisrael until Moshe Rabbeinu. Chachamim ask, how come HaKadosh Baruch Hu let Am Yisrael stay in Egypt for 210 years? Why didn't he send somebody sooner? Answer, Gemara says, because no one was willing to sacrifice their life for Am Yisrael until Moshe Rabbeinu. Okay, so we know that Moshe Rabbeinu is the one and only messenger that was able to take Am Yisrael out of Egypt. But what merit did Am Yisrael have? It says, they didn't change their tongue, their language, their clothing. Okay, fine, Baruch Hashem. They were still modest. They still made sins, but still connected. So how come it didn't happen right away? How come he just didn't show up? Okay, Paro, we're out of here. No, it had to go through a whole transition. You can say, because Hashem wanted to show His glory, He wanted to bring the blood and the frogs and the animals and then this. Okay, great. But then there was a hiccup at the end. Strange thing happened. Kadosh Baruch Hu says to Am Yisrael, He says to Moshe, go tell Am Yisrael to go each one of them get themselves a goat. Tie the goat to the bed for a few days. Alive, not dead, don't kill it. Alive. Let it scream for a few days. And after a few days, slaughter it and cook it whole. Make sure you don't break a bone. You break a bone, you have to do the whole thing all over again. Moshe Rabbeinu comes to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, says, Ribono shel Olam, how am I going to go tell Am Yisrael to go do this? You know that the goat is the Egyptian god. How is Am Yisrael going to take the Egyptian god, not only kill it, but actually taunt the Egyptians by keeping it alive, by tying it to their beds? It's going to scream for 4 days. The deaf are going to hear the goat. Because everyone's going to have their own goat. It's one goat. Everyone's going to have a goat. You know how many goats there are? Thousands, millions of goats. You know how many goats scream? One goat. Have one goat in your living room. Yeah, you sleep for that night. Put a goat in your living room. Test it out. See, test it at home. Show me your videotape if you want. See how it works out. We'll have a little bit of feeling. Maybe before preparation for Pesach. Millions of people are having to go tied to their bed for a few days, and the Egyptians are not going to say anything. Of course the Egyptians are going to come. They're going to kill everybody. How am I going to go tell Am Yisrael to commit suicide? The Midrash says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to Moshe Rabbeinu, I swear on my name that if they don't do this, they will never leave Egypt. Never. Never ever. They will stay in Egypt for eternity. Now say we have to read. Everyone has to finish the Shas. Okay, I understand that. Everyone has to learn Torah. I understand that. Everyone has to do Tshuva, Chatanu, Avinu, Pashanu. We made this and that and this. Okay, I understand that. But to go tie some goat and then slaughter it and make sure it's, when you cook it, it's complete. Why? Because you don't want anyone to think that when you're cooking it, it's anything other than a goat. You don't want them to think, maybe it's a chicken, or it's a big turkey, or it's a rat. No. You want it to be complete. Why? When you see the whole shell, you see all of the bones, the skeleton, for sure it's a goat. And you want to make sure the Egyptians see it. Why? Either you go and publicize your belief in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, or I don't want it. Either you go and become the most proud Jew in the planet, the most proud person on the planet that you believe in the one and only God, or HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I don't want it. You will stay in Egypt for eternity. You as a Bat Israel, you're embarrassed of being a Bat Israel that you have a mitpachat. like Sarai Imenu. So you go to a wedding with a wig? Why? You're embarrassed to be a Jew. You're embarrassed to look like Sarai Imenu. You as a Jewish boy, you have a little kippah, a little quarter. People mistake it. They go, you have something on your head. No, it's my kippah. Oh, what? That's a kippah. Oh, sorry. Oh, I just thought something fell on your head. Canopy. What do you have on your head? What is that? Why is it called colorful? What's going on over there? Why are you embarrassed? Why are you so embarrassed? HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, until you publicize my name everywhere, I don't want it. I don't want it. So when a person is embarrassed of their beliefs in HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, you're embarrassed of me, I don't want your belief altogether. And that's one of the things that a person needs to do. When they want to climb up, when they want to climb up on a spiritual ladder, they have to do something that's above and beyond their norm. Because just like their sin was above and beyond the norm, their mitzvah, their kiddush Hashem, their sanctification of Hashem has to be above the norm. They have to do something that's beyond them. If they only learn for an hour a day, they have to learn a lot more. If they only give 1,000, they have to give a lot more. If they only do a mitzvah that's acceptable by some people, they have to do a mitzvah that's acceptable by everybody. A lot more. How much a lot more? All depends on your sin. How are you going to know you did enough? It starts hurting. It's hard for you. If it's easy for you, it's not enough. Not enough. Not enough. And that's one of the things that a person needs to test themselves. I can tell you for myself. One time, we did gave something to someone to help some people. And, oh Hashem, I like to help people. My whole life, I liked helping people. I think that's really the only reason to have money is to help. It's a tool. But one time it was a lot more than normal. And I told my Rav, I said, this is all it's about? He says, what do you mean? I said, I feel like I'm working. All the money, I don't get to keep it. I give everything away. Just gave all this. I worked for all this for X amount of time, and it's all gone. I know it hurts. I don't mind. I like helping these people. It's great. But, I don't know, it's kind of like, is it right? My rabbi says, Baruch Hashem. I said, why Baruch Hashem? He says, until now, you gave. I was suspecting that maybe you just be a bazbezan. You're like someone that's splurging everywhere. You don't really care. You don't value money at all. So it doesn't affect you. You give 1,000, you give 1,000,000, it's the same thing to you. And that's not a good trait. The fact that I know it hurts you, Baruch Hashem. Now it's a mitzvah. Now it's a mitzvah. That's how it is. That's how it is, Rabotai. The mitzvah, in order for it to give you the pleasure, it has to hurt a little bit. It has to hurt a little bit. If it's easy for you, and you want to climb, you have to do more. You want to stay exactly where you are? Well, keep doing the easy. Keep doing the easy. It's like somebody wants to get, wants to play a game. You want to stay exactly where you're at, you play with kids that are your age or younger. You want to get better, you have to play with older kids. Why? Because it's harder. Same concept in life. You want to get better at work, you want to get better at business, you have to be surrounding yourself with people that are better than you. Needless to say, the Mishnah in Avot says that HaKadosh Baruch Hu runs the world like a business. This is one of the places that you could see it. You want to get better, you have to do things that are beyond the norm, beyond your own norm, and get yourself to higher level. B'Shem Hashem Na'aseh V'Natzliach, we're very excited to offer you the new Be'ezrat Hashem app 3.0. It's a newer, faster app, full of Torah, lots of Kedusha by the Shiurim that we do, myself, Rav Ephraim, Rav Chaim, where you'll have also newer features where you're able to use the app while you're using other applications on your phone. You'll be able to share the lectures directly from the app. You'll be able to donate online and support our Kiruv and our Torah work that we're doing. And the most exciting feature is that you'll be able to actually ask questions directly on the app and get answers from the rabbis directly from the app. This is something unprecedented, and Baruch Hashem will be able to offer it. Thank you again for all of your support. Check it out. Make sure you have the kosher Torah that will re-energize your neshama each and every single day. Call to B'chava Tzlacha.